Hello chess family, it's me National Master Jessejames, and today we're going over 5 Budapest opening traps. I hope you enjoy these ones. I did learn a few different ones with this one, and the last one actually is my favorite, so please stay tuned for that one. With that being said, let's go ahead and start with a very strong one. We're going to go ahead and start with d4, knight f6, knight to d2, pawn to e5, the Budapest Gambit. Pawn takes on e5 and knight to g4. Here we're fishing for a very, very weak move here for white. And white obliges this time and goes ahead and plays pawn to h3, losing the game already. Black to move. What do you play here? Feel free to push pause if you want to. If not, enjoy the show. Here we go. Knight to e3 gets played, and this is such a beautiful move here. As you can see, it's pretty much smother mating this queen. And I know someone's asking, why can't we just take here? I just want to point out, again, the queen cannot move away at all. She's just trapped here. So why can't we take? Well, if you do take, which is not the best move here, the best move is just going to be anything else other than that. Because if you do take here, well, you're just getting checkmated here. Do you see it now? Hopefully you do. Here it's just queen to h4, check, and here we're falling for a fool's mate. Here white has nothing better than to play pawn to g3, and then queen takes g3 for check and mate. Alright, on to the next one. I like to call this the Budapest Gambit, the Bishop Decoy. This one is famous in other openings, so it might as well be used in our Budapest Gambit. Here we go. d4, knight f6, c4, e5, Budapest Gambit. D takes on e5, knight to e4. Most of the time, knight g4 does get played, but knight e4 is also one of the main lines here. And here, pawn to a3 gets played. I wouldn't say it's the most crucial move in this position. There's a lot of different moves you can try, but a3 is a move that typically does get played because, well, the bishop to b4 check variations can definitely happen. Alright, black goes ahead and plays pawn to d6, and this is setting up that beautiful little trap here. Most people here are going to be very nice to you, and they're going to say, you know what, it's a free pawn. Why shouldn't I take? And here, pawn takes on d6, and here the trap is sprung. Here we go, bishop takes on d6. Already at this point, if they do not fall for the rest of the trap, that's okay. You still have really good development here, so I would be happy as black. In fact, computer has already given this as basically equality, even though you are a pawn down. That says a lot when the computer says, you know what, you're a pawn down, but you're about equal position. That means you have a lot of attacking chances. And here, white has one more move to try and stop the trap. Pawn g3, wah, wah, wah. Unfortunately, they just fell for the trap. Black to move and win. Do you see the move? All right, hopefully you push pause. Hope you try to figure it out. Here it is. Knight takes on f2 here. And this is a move that cannot be ignored. I mean, if you don't do anything, well, we're just forking over here your queen and your rook. Okay, king has to take. And here's the move. Do you see it? This is why I call it the Bishop Decoy. The idea is that the queen wants to go ahead and take this queen, but, well, the bishop's in the way. So which way do you do it? Bishop takes on g3 or bishop c5? Hopefully you chose the right one. It's actually bishop takes on g3, not bishop c5. Some people might say, hey, why not bishop c5 here? Because the king can run back to e1 and defend the queen. Don't get me wrong. You can still win the queen with bishop f2, but it's going to take a little extra effort. Destroy your opponent's confidence right away with bishop takes on g3, winning an extra pawn here. And notice that king e1 is not even an option. Of course, now you're just going to go ahead and take. And after queen takes d1, we can just go ahead and be happy that your opponent has fallen for your devilish plans. All right, on to the next one. We have the Adler Trap. Hopefully I pronounced that one correctly. Here we go. d4, knight f6, c4. Hopefully you know the move now. Pawn to e5, the Budapest Gambit. D takes on e5, and here we go. Knight to g4 again. Bishop to f4. And here, knight to c6. Here, white's going to try and hold on to this extra e5 pawn. I will tell you, as a d4 player, you know, trying to hold on to this pawn is possible, but if you want to just get an easy game here, just let the pawn go. With that being said, here, white's going to keep holding on to it. Knight to f3, bishop to b4 check. Here, I like to play the knight to c3. Knight bd2 gets played, and this is usually done because, well, most people don't want to play knight c3 because they're afraid about the double pawns. Here, I am not afraid of such a thing. Here, I'm very happy to have trades, and white already has a very good win rate here. These double pawns plus the bishop pair make my life very happy. That being said, most people will play the idea of knight b to d2, queen to e7, and now, well, there's really no good way to go ahead and defend this pawn. That's why the knight had to go to c3 here, so that you could play maybe queen d5 if you do want to hold on to it at all. And here, well, white plays pawn to a3, and here, black, and after they play a3 here, it looks like black is just doing bad here, because if he moves the bishop back, b4, bishop b6, hey, my bishop got trapped. So what do you do in this situation? Here, this is where the trap has been sprung. We play knight takes on e5. And if your opponent is not thinking, they're just going to say, you know what, free bishop, maybe this is a blitz game. Maybe they're just not paying attention. They're going to go ahead and snag attack right away. Uh-oh, black to move. What do you play here? All right, hopefully you see it. Here we get the beautiful smothers made of knight to d3, check and mate. Of course, the pawn cannot take back because that was the reason why we put the queen here, to pin the pawn to the king. All right, on for our next one, the Adler Trap. Very similar to an idea that we just looked at. Here we go. d4, knight f6, c4, e5. Here we go. Budapest Gambit. D takes on e5, knight to g4, knight to f3, bishop c5. Here putting pressure on f2 pawn right away. Pawn to e3, knight c6, and here be careful. Black is not the only one setting traps in this opening. Here white plays bishop to d2. Looks like a very strange move. Can't we just win the pawn back? Here black went ahead and did it. Knight takes on e5. Knight takes on e5, knight takes on e5, and bishop c3 attacking the knight. Here, most people, what are you going to play? Simple chess. You'll probably just play the standard pawn to d6 here, and this is the problem. White to move and win. What do you do here? All right, hopefully push pause. We'll be trying to figure it out. Here, white can trap this bishop now with pawn to b4, bishop b6, and here, bishop takes on e5. Here, most people might be thinking, can't we go c5? It doesn't work out too well, right? The pawn will just take. So here, the idea is to play c5, but we got to get rid of this pawn's defense. This pawn was overloaded, trying to defend c5 and the knight here on e5. So, after bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes, check, king takes c5. You're the one looking a little embarrassed here with your bishop just trapped in the corner. Uh-oh. All right, on for our last one, and I think definitely one of the best traps in this Budapest Gambit. Back to black. Let's go for it. d4, knight f6, c4, e5, Budapest Gambit. D takes on e5, knight to e4, the main line. Knight to f3, pawn to b6, a very weird looking move here. And here, well, it won't take long for most of your opponents to say, you know what, there's an undefended knight, there's an undefended rook. What do you play here? Here, believe it or not, queen to d5 gets played, which is a mistake. How is this a mistake? Aren't we just winning a piece here? Well, here's where the devilish trap comes from. We're going to go ahead and play bishop to b7. So, I mean, if you put your queen to d5 and you miss this idea, I mean, this would just be a wasted tempo here, right? So, well, you might as well go all in. Queen takes on b7, and the queen starts to get trapped. Knight to c6. Let's shut off any kind of escape routes. And here, there is a way to get out, but you have to sacrifice or play the move knight to d4 here, and white will actually escape with the queen. With that being said, or at least get either escape with the queen or at least get some material for it. With that being said, here white was just playing fast and played queen a6, and now it is black to move and trap the queen. Feel free to push pause if you want to. All right, hopefully you push pause, try to figure it out. What do you do? Here, we have to make sure that we get the squares in order. Mind you, if you played knight c5 right away, you allowed the queen to go to a3 here for the only escape square. So what do? Simple chess, just add in that little check, bishop b4 check. Here, it doesn't matter how they block or what they play. After they block, now we play the knight to c5, and the queen is truly trapped here with all a6, a5, a4, a3 squares taken. At this point, nothing really good to do. You might as well try queen to b5, but here, hopefully it doesn't take you too long. Here we just play bishop takes on d2, knight takes on d2, and pawn to a6, and your opponent can resign in very, very much in disarray or just complete sadness. All right, guys, I hope you did enjoy this. Please let me know if you knew any of these ones. I'm going to be adding some more Budapest traps to this channel, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.